And here's the car right here, as we just got done stripping all the stainless steel and the chrome off of it, front and rear bumpers. I haven't taken the door handles out yet, or the locks, or the trim up in this area here, but we got it ready to be stripped and ready to remove all the paint off of this fiberglass car. Now, working with fiberglass is a little bit different than working with metal. When you strip metal, it strips really well. You don't have to worry about penetrating into any materials and possibly ruining the material. So when you're stripping fiberglass, you got to really know what you're doing and be real careful doing it, especially these old Corvettes that don't have any gel coat to protect the fiberglass. So we're going to go ahead and strip this by hand. And when I say by hand, we're going to chemical strip it. We're not going to blast it with any type of media, blasting media. We're going to go ahead and use a stripper on this. And the stripper at choice for me is called Cooper's Stripper Club Paint Remover.
Welcome to D.I.Y. Automotive School with my friend Pete and Minnie, the body shop girl. It's everything you need to know about cars and more.
So I had this can stored in a nice cool place so it wouldn't expand and explode, and from the cold weather that we got, it actually imploded on us, but the chemical is still good inside, meaning the only thing that happened is the can sucked itself in. So don't get discouraged because the can is deformed. Yeah. This is our stripper, Cooper's Stripper Club. And then what we got over here, we got a product called Flusher. Now what this does, this is actually a rinses off the residue, it deactivates the stripper itself, and then it cleans everything up, ready for preparation to do your primer, bodywork, and paint. So the weather's a little bit chilly in here today. It's around 60 degrees. I warmed my shop up earlier. I got a heater over there and I got another heater over here. I got a big giant shop that I'm in, well ventilated. Always remember when you're using stripper to make sure that the area that you're working in is a good ventilated area. So let's go ahead and get some stripper on this and start working on stripping the paint off. One more thing that I got is I got plastic. I don't know if you can see that on the floor, but I do have plastic on the floor. And this is what we're doing here. I want you to watch this. I don't know if you can see that going on, but I got the pressure down to approximately, I don't know, probably 10, 12 PSI. And I'm just spraying that stripper on there using my 1.8 nozzle. And I can tell you another thing, this stuff really gets in the air. I don't know if stripping it this way is the way to go. I really don't. So what's going on is I'm getting fumes up in the air while I'm spraying it. Now, this is a spray-on item, but I don't know if I want to do it that way because, like I said, the fumes are just taking over, and I'm going to have to use my spray mask. And I'm also going to go ahead and open the door over there to get fresh air inside my shop. All right, I went ahead and opened both doors on both sides to kind of get a cross flow through here. The fumes are very dangerous and toxic with this stuff, and I'm also going to wear my spray mask as we work on it. Well, I noticed that when I sprayed it on from using a spray gun, and this would probably be possible or the same reaction that you would get with a HVLP gun, is that the air pushing the paint out is going to dry the stripper out. That's basically what happened here. It doesn't feel wet and gooey. I mean, it feels gooey, but it's like dry gooey. Does that make any sense? So we're going to go back to the old school way that I do it. And what I do is I take a bucket like I was showing you with the stripper in it, and then I will literally just brush it on there. And the trick to using the Cooper stripper, however you put it on, is you got to keep it wet. Stripping paint is not a fun job. I'm going to let you know that right now. It's a messy, sloppy, filthy job, and takes very much time, consuming patience to get it done. So I decided to go ahead and do the whole hood. I was going to go ahead and split it in half, but I decided to just go ahead and spray the whole thing and work on the whole thing at one time. A lot of times, and I've stripped hundreds and hundreds of cars, fiberglass and metal, and a lot of times when you're stripping this paint, most of it's going to come off with steel wool. You're going to use steel wool to knock it off. Now, I'm going to go ahead and say this again. Cooper Stripper Club recommends that you do it a different way. This is the way that I've done it. This is about the fourth car that I've stripped using Cooper Stripper Club stripper. And this is what I do. So we're going to let that sit for about 5 or 10 minutes, and then we're going to see what happens. Well, if you're looking at what I'm looking at, you're looking at a 61 Corvette hood fiberglass that is almost to the end of stripping it. Now, this is approximately 2.5 hours later from when we stopped the video action before, and you can see that it doesn't quite work like Cooper Stripper Club claimed that it would work. This is, like I said, the 4th or 5th time that I've used this stuff, and I have never been able to just spray it on and the stuff come right off. This is what happens when I'm using it to strip a car down. And what we're doing here, let me go ahead and show you, is I'm basically brushing it on, and then I scraped as much as I could, but then I went ahead and put my rubber gloves on, and I'm now taking steel wool to finish it off with. That's usually the end when you have to, after you scrape everything off that you can scrape, you have to use the steel wool to get the rest of the residue off. And if you look down in the trash can, you can see there is all the paint that I scraped off right there. Looks like a bloodbath, people. A real bloodbath. So far, it seems like the Cooper Stripper, whichever way you plan on putting it on and take it off, seems like it works well with fiberglass. I don't see any problems in it. I don't see anything happening or reacting with the fiberglass. I see that everything is working out good and coming off really nice. This Cooper Stripper Club stripper is not eating the fiberglass any way whatsoever. And it looks like it's a good product for fiberglass. And this is approximately 4 coats of stripper that I put on this. And I noticed in the front here, it's a little thicker in the front than it was everywhere else. And you can also see that I used this steel wool pad is a done deal. And over in this corner right here, this is primer. This is some very thick primer right here that is probably due to when it got in an accident and they blended everything in. That's what I'm suggesting. I ended up closing my doors and turning my heaters on. This stuff doesn't work that good in cold weather. So, and when you're spraying it out of the spray gun, it's got cold air coming out of it. It makes it even worse. All right, now that we went ahead and stripped the hood, what we're going to do now, we're going to use this product right here. It's called a flusher. Now, what this is, this washes all of the residue off from the stripper, and it also deactivates any stripper that might be left behind. Now, according to Mr. Cooper himself, he claims that you don't have to wash this off with water, that you can go ahead and just use his flusher, and that's all you need to do, and then go straight into your body works, this, that, and the other. Well, let me go ahead and explain this to you. I went ahead and stripped this car down by hand. It took 2 days to strip the whole car. And after I was done stripping, I went ahead and used the flusher on it, and it still left some residue behind it. Now, I don't know if I was doing it the wrong way or whatever, but according to the instructions, you take the spray bottle with the flusher, you spray it on there, you take the black Scotch Brite, which I'm sure if you don't have the black ones, you can use red ones, and then you Scotch Brite it down, you wipe it off, and it's done. Well, they left the residue still on the vehicle. After I did that, the next day I came back and it looked like there was a bunch of residue, so I had to take it outside and flush it out with water and steel wool to get it cleaned thoroughly 100%. So maybe doing small items, smaller stuff, the flusher probably works well, but I found that you still have to go out and wash it off with water and steel wool, and then you're able to put it in epoxy primer. So as you can see, our hood is now stripped down to the factory Corvette Chevrolet black primer, and all the white that you see on here is the fiberglass. Back in the day, they did not use gel coat on these vehicles, and all they did is put a thin coat of this black factory primer on it, and away they went. If you're working on an old fiberglass car, I'm going to tell you right now, the best thing to do with it is hand strip it. So what you're seeing me do now, I'm spraying the flusher onto the hood, and you can see it really doesn't take much. It goes on pretty good, just like that. What I'm doing now is I'm taking the flusher and I'm wiping it down with my black Scotch Brite. This hood also has some serious spider cracks in it, and we're going to have to fix those as well. One good thing about the Cooper stripper, if you use it with a brush, the odor is very, very minimal. You can't even smell it. That's one good thing about Cooper stripper versus other brands, is that the odor of the chemicals is not overpowering you. I still suggest that you use this in a very well ventilated area. Okay. We have now stripped our 61 Corvette hood with the Cooper stripper, and we got a whole car that we got to strip down. And I'm going to be honest with you. This is my truthful, honest answer. You just saw what happened here. Besides washing it off with water, which that's what I'm going to do here, I think that the stripper works very, very well. I think that the product is a good product to use on fiberglass. Once again, this hood does not have any gel coat on it. What you're looking at is straight fiberglass in these areas here with the factory black primer on top of it. And that is what it looks like right there. So the product really worked well, but I still, and you can say I'm old-fashioned, this is just the way that I do it. I'm still going to go ahead and run some water over it. And that's just me. You don't have to if you don't want to, but I like to use water to clean it all off. And I'm going to use my Scotch-Brite to do that with, making sure I get all the edges real good. And you can see the flusher really works well. I don't know if you can see the water rolling off, beating off, but the water is just beating off of it. So there you go right there. Now that took several hours to do that. This was not a wham bam thank you ma'am video at all. So, anyway, I'm rambling on now. I want to make sure that you see this. This is a hood that has been stripped down with Cooper's Stripper Club, stripper. And it's not just a hood, it's a hood of a very rare car called a 1961 Chevrolet Corvette. So I think that it works good. I like it. It's a good product. And yeah, really came out nice. So there you go right there. That's the way I strip fiberglass when it comes to getting paint off. I noticed that using the Cooper stripper, you don't have to worry about time lapse or time frame, whereas when you use aircraft stripper, or I don't know how it is now, I know that they took a lot of the chemical that makes it react out of it, but when it was full bore, full strength aircraft stripper, you had to watch it like a hawk and make sure that you got it off in time. It would eat the fiberglass. I noticed that using the Cooper stripper, you can see how nice and smooth the fiberglass is. There's no roughness whatsoever. It's as smooth as glass, and really came out nice. So to finish this off, we will sand this down. And that basically right there, what you're looking at, that is a strip job of a 61 Corvette. We can go further if we wanted to get the black primer off, but we're going to hand sand it from here to get the rest of that off. We're not going to use the chemical anymore. The chemical served its purpose by taking the paint off, and this is all that's left. So we'll work on that later, but I hope you enjoyed this video. Cooper's Stripper Club for fiberglass. If you have a fiberglass boat, possibly a fiberglass kit car, or anything made of fiberglass, I would say fiberglass saddlebags for an old Harley Davidson motorcycle. Anything that's fiberglass, I would say, in my opinion, Cooper's Stripper Club is safe to use without worrying about ruining the fiberglass agenda at your hands. So there you go, right there. This is Pete, my friend Pete, your friend Pete, using the Cooper's Stripper Club stripper to the best of my advantage and using it properly the way that I know how to use it to get the job done right. Do it right, do it right, do it right, because if you're not doing it right, you're not doing it at all. Take it easy.
Thanks for watching D.I.Y. Automotive School. Classes don't stop till you know everything.